Tell me about like young baby Caleb. What did you do growing up? What were your loves?
Well, always wrestling.
Yeah.
Always wrestling. My father was in music growing up.
Okay.
Roadie and a drummer, and he worked for bands. He worked for David Allan Coe when they were doing the Great American Bash. Like they would, David Allan Coe or Dusty Rhodes was a huge fan of him and would bring him on tour, and they would play during Great American Bash. So my dad was a part of that, and he kind of always wanted to get into wrestling, but he was already in music, and that kind of paid the bills. But like I was basically brought right into wrestling via
Oh
that.
wow.
So like always in music, always in wrestling. I was always, during the summers I was on the road with him, and I would, he would pretend like I was helping him set up the drum sets and tune guitars and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
A lot of my childhood. That and going to really bad independent wrestling shows.
Still one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah, I'm still doing it actually.
How old was your dad when he got into music? Was it like a teenager and then just kept plugging through, or?
Yeah, basically, like he was the same way I am about wrestling. Like he was like, "All right, I'm graduated high school. I'm gonna get a job being a roadie and travel the country." And so, like,
Wow.
basically, when he was 18, 19, he got into all that.
Cool. Do you have siblings?
I have a lot of siblings. I have
Do
a full
tell.
brother. I have a full brother,
Yep.
a stepsister, two stepbrothers, and a half brother, and an adopted brother.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are any of them in wrestling?
No, me and my full brother would always wrestle like on the trampoline, and in my grandma had this giant like couch bed thing that we would have like our own little promotion that we would wrestle on as like fifth graders and second graders.
Yeah.
But no one else really joined it, just me.
And what about the rest of your family in terms of supporting your wrestling? Like, obviously, your dad kind of sounds like he groomed you for the business. Are any of them fans now of you?
My mom hated that my dad did it. She
Okay.
absolutely despised it. But then once I got into it, she loosened up. And then once I started like actually going and doing some stuff and seeing the world a little, she was pretty gung ho about it. Anytime I'm in Atlanta, she lives in Atlanta. Anytime I'm there, she makes a point to be there.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I feel like that always happens with kids in the business. Like, no one's parents really love it unless they're fans themselves. But I think at the end of the day, when you're a good parent and you watch your baby do something that they're passionate about, you can't help but be like, okay, this is great.
She when I signed with Impact, like she was a waitress and she had a couple of a couple of the locals of the people there all the time, and
Yeah.
they were wrestling fans, and she's like, "Oh, that's my son. He's making his debut tonight on Impact," and I was, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so nice. So where were you actually born?
I was born in Nashville because my dad was in country music, but I don't remember it. Like I was a
Yeah.
child, and we were in Missouri and Nashville and Atlanta. My dad is from Atlanta. My mom's from Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Now my dad lives in Ohio, and my mom lives in Atlanta. Oddly enough, yeah. They're divorced now, but it just happened to be that way.
Huh. Interesting. And so was that always your goal then? You were, doing school because you had to, or did you kind of have other aspirations?
I mean, you become the Attitude Era was huge, so I wanted to be a wrestler. Attitude Era hit, I really wanted to be a wrestler, and then at 15, 16, I'm playing football. I'm trying to get in trouble and be a normal teenager. I kind of lost interest in it a little
Yep.
bit for like a year or two, but then my best friend at the time, well, he's still a really good friend, but my best friend, turns out we had been hanging out for a couple years. We were into the same kind of music. We went to concerts together, and then like we were talking, it turned out his dad was also an independent wrestler when he was a kid. And then we like
Ah,
really got into wrestling together, and then we were like, we're gonna do this for real. We're gonna start training and going to the gym and doing this stuff.
cool. Is he still in the business? Sorry.
He's still in the business. Yeah, he wrestles locally around the Georgia, Tennessee area. He's kind of like, part time in it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, still in the business. Bobby Moore,
Bobby
hit for
Moore.
hire.
Cool.
Little plug scheme.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. I was like, tell me about him. Let's look him up.
He's a typical wrestling jabroni, just
Yeah.
soft shaking and good brother in it. You grow up in a certain point, I guess. Some people do. I didn't,
Yeah.
but a lot of people grow up and decide they want to, have a real life.
Yeah. But you know what? I did that. And look, I came back.
It sucks, right?
Like
Who needs a real life?
it's in your blood. Like, once a carny, always a carny. And I was like, I was really adamant about it too. I held my ground for 10 years. I'm a stubborn fuck.
For 10 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone these days retires and then they have another match like the next month. Like,
I meant it. I really I wasn't gonna do the share thing. I wasn't gonna, have my reunion tour every year.
and you were young too, like super. I mean, you're still young, but you were way young to retire at that point. Everyone's like, "Yeah, she'll come back. She'll be back."
I know, and I pissed a lot of people off. Not in like not in an actual angrily way, but like my friends were like, what are you doing? So yeah, I get it. It's like, at least we're on the side where we can make money and it's technically a career.
At this point, finally.
Yeah, yay, kind of. So tell me, I want to talk like romance and wrestling because I feel like we've made a really big change in the past few years where not only are relationships in wrestling accepted, they're pretty common, whereas probably, you can say 10 years ago, especially as a woman, you don't shit where you eat and, that would break your career.
Yeah, everyone always was.
Yeah, oh my God. Well, that was the joke.
Yeah, sure.
But so how did you meet your lovely lady?
Me and Chris I was on a couple of shows with her early on in New Jersey. We said hi. We talked a little bit, not really. We started doing this show called FSCW, which is Fantasy Super Cosplay Wrestling, which is like I'm Star-Lord. She was Gambit from X-Men, or not Gambit. Fuck it, what's it? Rogue. Rogue. She was Rogue, not Gambit. That's the other one. She was Rogue, and she was also, I don't know, someone from G.I. Joe, but I never watched that, so I don't remember what her name was. And we just, I don't know, we had fun. Like, we just joke around and be friends. I like to, cause a little bit of trouble, joke around, make fun of people a little bit, not talk about your big head or anything. Just playing games, and some people don't like it so much, and she took to it, and she just talked shit right back, and
you were like, I love you.
Yes, basically.
Oh, you're an asshole too.
Pretty much, yeah, that was it.
Oh, that's nice. Well, it's good that she can give it back, because
definitely, she gives it to me way harder than I give it to her.
Yeah? I'm excited to
She's always on my ass. And she'll do it publicly, too. We'll be in the middle of a crowd, and she'll just start talking shit. Everyone's like, these people must hate each other, but no.
No, it's I feel like I've learned over the years, that's actually like my love language. If I like you, then I probably make you feel unsafe.
You need a little bit of that. You need a little fear in your life.
Are you ever going to commit to a hair color? Because I feel like we planned this. Like, I'm very blonde, you're very blonde. Did you know?
No, I didn't. I don't think I'm going to. This is not a new thing for me. It's been brought back, but in high school, my hair was every color in the world. I had dreadlocks, mohawk, Liberty spikes, everything. I had just dumb hair. And then for a little while, I went to Japan, and I saw the guys over there. They had really cool hairstyles, so then I did the side shave, and I had leopard print, and everyone's kind of like, you're dumb. Why are you doing this? But now I have a reason to, so I'm just going to just go fucking nuts and just do whatever I want.
I like it.
Thank you.
So are you loving Kaleb with a K?
Yeah, I am. Obviously, I want to do more wrestling, but I love just the ability to just go out there and be as stupid as I want to be. For the longest time, it was like, I assume from everybody's perspective, but definitely for me, I felt like I needed to go out there and be like a serious wrestler, and I needed to be respected and taken seriously, and I needed to do suplexes and all the things that you do. And then probably around this, I mean, obviously I get older and I get goofier. But like doing FSCW, and it was just like me being Star Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. I got to be real goofy doing that, and like it was so much fun. It was so much easier. I didn't put this pressure on myself to be like this 5-star match guy. And then I feel like I'm bringing that over into Kaleb with a K, and then just like, go into 100 with it. Like just be as dumb as possible. Whatever I think is dumb, I go, let's try to make it a little dumber.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think honestly, like I've told you before, but I want to bring it on this podcast that I think you're insanely talented, and I think you've really helped escalate the knockouts, and you really, you bump like a champ. You don't have any ego in it, and I don't think like I could be wrong, but my perspective is just because you go out there and you're serious and you wear like black tights and you do suplexes and, whatever, you're Mr. Generico, I don't think that makes you a good wrestler. I think, elevating other people, that makes you incredibly talented. And I'm really thankful for everything you've done for the knockouts. So I really hope Kaleb with a K sticks around. And honestly, I've actually gotten a lot of feedback from like male fans that as much heat as you derive from that character, they really love what you do with the knockouts and like the storylines you bring. I actually think, and not in a biased way because I've been in storylines with you, but I actually think you're one of the most entertaining performers Impact has because you're doing something ridiculous,
Yeah. I mean, most of the feedback I've gotten is very positive. A couple people have, the wrestling purists want me to be a serious wrestler again, but like I have fun. People seem to be reacting to it. The more dumb stuff I do, more people will be entertained. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do is entertain people, right?
Totally. But you can be Kaleb with a K, and I still want to see you get a big push and, get a title run. Because honestly, I want to see it. Truly, I would like to see it.
When are you going to start booking this show?
Well, at this point, I'm going to have to start finding another way to be on the payroll. I'm working on it, okay?
Good.
But
I need good people in creative here.
We need more vaginas.
You're not Jimmy and everybody else on the creative. Everybody's great.
No,
I love everybody.
No. I hear you. Well, you know what? There is a bigger part of me coming from not a feminist standpoint, but like as a female wrestler, I'm already 1 to 20. It's changing, but the difference now is the demographic is still very white male when it comes to management. Besides Gail, besides we got Madison back, but she's talent too. Like there's just. I don't know of any female writers for Impact, and I don't know if there's any at AAW or like Sarah Stock was at WWE, but she got furloughed pretty quick. So
you never know. Like I always feel like that's when people say how good the Knockouts division is, when people ask me, I'm always like, it's because Gail stands up for everybody and she pushes really hard.
Yep.
She knows what she wants and she knows what the girls are capable of doing, and she makes sure she gets that.
Yeah. And she was, for argument's sake, she's been a really strong force in women's wrestling across the past decade, 15 years. And that's the difference. Like male agents are always these really strong personalities in wrestling. We haven't had that. We haven't had that backstage for the women. So, that's something I'm hoping that more, female workers work towards. And, as I get older, it's things I'm thinking about. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to hang up the boots again yet. I just got back, so.
You have a whole lot of bumps left on that bump card.
I do, because I know that's what I was just talking about my bump card the other day. Developmental easily took 2 years off, but I rested for 10, so that's that's basically a new card, right?
Yeah. From your side of it, like you were gone from, how much did you keep up with it while you were out?
Not much, man. Like, I wasn't in the ring. I think it was 2017 when they had that first Mae Young Classic. WWE had called me and they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. And I hadn't been training. I wasn't in the mind frame. I was like, I just became a firefighter. I was playing hockey. Like I was still fit. I've never kind of missed a day of the gym because that's part of who I am. But I probably massively overcompensated. I was too excited. I trained for a few days and I ended up someone like popped me up to like land on the top rope, which something I've done quite a few times. I popped up. I was stronger than I used to be because I eat carbs now. And I overshot the turnbuckle and I headbutted the beam. And it was great. I split my nose. I split my face. I had to go get my face glued. Had a really bad concussion. And I was like, nah. I'm good.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So I was almost ready to come back.
And then that happened.
Yeah. So, but
Chris has this picture of one of the first day that she was training, and she did the same thing. She busted her forehead
no.
open. It was like her first week of training, and so she sent me this picture like right when we kind of first started talking, and I made a poster of the Something About Mary poster, and I changed it to her face bleeding, and then she has like a little white fluffy Shiba Inu dog, and I put that in the little dog's face. And she did not like it at all.
No, I guess not. I was just going to say, I'll send you my photo, but fuck it, never mind. But, I'd always kept tabs on my friends because, they were all doing bigger and better things. And I was, really supportive of them. And like when they'd come through Toronto, I'd make sure I'd always go watch. And like, I truly was just happy for all my friends doing good things, but I had no interest. And then I felt like the concussion face splitting was like divine intervention, that it wasn't time to go back. And,
Sure.
And I had my son and life was normal and I was really ready to get out of a shitty marriage. And, I thought, hey, divorce, wrestling, that sounds like a really good combo. So
Is this a midlife crisis?
no, because it's my second divorce.
You're an old vet in this divorce department.
Yeah, I've seemed to do really well career-wise in other aspects of my life. Marriage, not so much. One thing else.
Try again, I guess.
Third time's a charm, right? I figure like I work with a bunch of like middle-aged men and a lot of emergency services people based on like stressful jobs. They have multiple marriages. I don't know. It just happens. They always say like your third marriage is just finding someone to die with. So I'm just looking for someone to die with.
So you got a little while to find them though.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush. We'll see. Like I don't.
So
think
when you came back, was it a huge culture shock? Was it completely different?
Sorry, say that one more time.
So when you came back, like you just came right into Impact, was it like a complete culture shock of what it was a decade before?
You know what the weirdest part was? I didn't feel like I'd been gone at all. Like
That's good.
everything I felt like I came home, and I didn't feel like I was. I did feel like intensely nervous right before I left Gorilla, and I don't recall ever feeling nervous, like adrenaline, like excitement, but I was literally like, I could hear my heart beating, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I doing this?
Do you feel like the girls have like changed? Like you noticed the difference there?
So that being said, what I had kept tabs on for the past 10 years, because I'm totally biased being a female, I really love women's wrestling. And I was so impressed with the depths of the talent pool of women. And that has massively changed, especially in the past 5 to 10 years. And I think that like NXT, AEW, Impact, all the major companies and on the indies, women are incredible workers now. It's moved so far away from the Divas era, and that is really what motivated me to come back. Was just how talented all the women were. And I guess, all the women that were at Impact per se, I've never wrestled any of them before besides Madison. So that was like really motivating and kind of scary because coming back as a veteran, there's certain things that encompass that, but also wanted to make sure I can hang still. Like I didn't want to be old and shit.
10 years ago, like you were doing stuff that no one else was doing. Like Sarah Stock was kind of there, and you were doing it, but like there was a ton of girls that were just getting by, and I don't feel like that's happening anymore. Like everyone's trying to go out there and kill it.
Absolutely, and they are like. I caught something last night. I think it was NXT. It was a replay, and I think it was a 3-way. I couldn't even tell you who was in the match. But like 5 minutes into the match, the crowd starts cheering, "This is awesome." And I'm just like, 10 years ago, that would have never happened in a women's match.
Let's go get some popcorn.
What's that?
Yes, it would be, let's go get some popcorn. Let's get
Totally.
out,
Or tits, or, and it was, yeah. I tried, I left wrestling, one, because I was burnt out, but two, I felt I did everything I could possibly do with the women that were there to work with. And I just felt like I was never going to get a bigger push than I had gotten. And don't get me wrong, I loved my storyline with Awesome Kong, and she was an amazing worker to learn with. But then, after her was, Sarah and I did our thing, but then the talent pool wasn't very diverse outside of that. And all the knockouts at that time, we'd already worked each other on the indies for fucking years. So I was just like, nah. Whereas now, every major promotion in the indies, there's like this really strong female talent. And I think it's an exciting place to be as a young woman, like training and coming up through the ranks. Because shit, I'd be not scared, but I'd be motivated and like.
You gotta be. There's a lot of opportunity out there. And like cross promotion with NWA and all the other stuff. And there's all these girls going to Japan for these promotions, and it seemed like none of that stuff was happening 10 years ago.
No, like Sarah brought me to Mexico pretty early on, when I was like 19, and that experience like completely changed my life. Totally. It was.
I'm terrified of Mexico now.
Yeah, but when I was young and stupid, like I was, you know what I mean? I was like, I'll go to Mexico. That sounds great. And then you go to it. No, a little blonde girl who kind of looks like a Barbie and smiles a lot. You'll be fine. And I don't mean like I'm like an overly attractive woman. I just mean like I look very different than a woman in Mexico.
You definitely stand out there.
Yeah. So, I was given pretty strict rules when I got there. Like, hide your passport, don't talk to cops, run, actually, if a cop goes to talk to you.
Oh, no.
It was great. It was really good. Relaxing. No PTSD. But yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell. And I don't want to keep you too long, but I like to end every episode I have with the same 10 tailor-made questions, and they're for guys and girls.
Okay.
But I feel like you're gonna nail this regardless. So, are you ready?
Okay. No.
Name one beauty product you can't live without.
Name a beauty product? Pomade.
Yep.
Pomade, nice. I was gonna say it can be like deodorant if you're not sure.
No, I don't use deodorant.
You just use like what is it? Baking soda and
Uh-oh.
herbal. What is your favorite exercise? Oh, hi, buddy. What's his name?
Her name is Harlot.
Oh,
She's
Harlot?
a 7-year-old. Yeah.
I've seen the gym that is that what you guys have in your garage?
My garage. When everything shut down last March, I went out immediately and started buying stuff. And then she bought stuff, and now we've got like a cool little home gym. I wouldn't say it's cool. It's a sweat box. It's hot as hell in there all the time.
That's exactly what I was paying $200 a month for like 10 years ago when CrossFit like hit its first boom. So you're doing well.
Yeah. And we just recently rejoined the gym that I was at before the pandemic hit.
Oh, yeah.
And we've gone like twice. And both times it's been like we're like there 30 minutes and we can't work out on anything because there's 1,000 people there, and we're just like, we got all this shit at home. Why are we here?
Yeah.
Just go back home.
I don't like
out.
people either, so I'm really into COVID.
Are you guys still locked down?
So I'm trying to think. Up until 2 months ago, the only thing we could still do is grocery stores and like liquor stores and like the post office. But now like malls are open, and restaurants are open, but there's still quite a few restrictions. I'm trying to think.
It's real weird to get in and out of the country, right?
Like you have to have a passport everywhere, like when you go to restaurants, and like to say you're fully vaccinated. And it's such a weird time, man. Like I honestly don't know what the right and wrong answer is anymore. I
Yeah, it's really hard to say.
From like a
Everyone's got their own propaganda.
and like from a first responder standpoint, I was like, yeah, go ahead, load me up, because I've been working in it since it started. But as I had been working in it, when it was like really bad, and I had probably minimal PPE because I didn't know what we were dealing with, and I was going into work going, are we gonna die? I've never gotten COVID, but I just, maybe I was lucky, maybe I was asymptomatic, I don't know. So I just think your body, your choice, whatever.
I think a lot of people have forgotten like the rules of like how to keep your body healthy. Like in the first place, if you eat healthy and you take the right vitamins and all that stuff, you're gonna stay healthier than if you're just eating shit all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone's kind of like thrown that out like it doesn't matter anymore.
And I think for wrestling, it's almost kind of like a first responder standpoint. Like you're like exchanging like bodily fluids, whether you like it or not. Like,
yeah,
just
definitely.
Get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. Like I'm not a pusher, but I think it is particular to your career in terms of that sort of thing.
Sure. Especially for us. Like we're going to be touching people. We're going to be traveling.
Exactly.
Just get it done.
Polio wasn't good. So like, let's
I don't know. Maybe that conservative propaganda is telling you a different story than what was really going on. I don't want to push any narratives.
Like I said, I don't like people. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. I get really irritated when people like try to answer for me for something if I'm like in a crowd and they're like, "Oh, well, what do you like?" and someone says something for me. I'm like, "Nah, I can do this. I can tell you what I want."
Do you find that like, is that something you found a theme in your life? Like people try to answer for you?
You know, I'm very easygoing. I tried to be anyways. So sometimes people are like, "Oh, he doesn't give a shit. Just let him do whatever." And I'm like,
that's really insulting. I feel angry for you. I don't like that.
Thanks.
Who is your celebrity crush? If you say your girlfriend, I hate you. You can say your girlfriend. It's actually quite cute.
She always makes fun of me about this. It's Gwen Stefani.
That's the best answer ever. Caleb for president. Good for you. Why does she make fun of it?
Anytime. She doesn't make fun of it. It's just like anytime a No Doubt song or Gwen Stefani song comes on, she's like, "Oh, your crush." And she just, "No, this shit's bananas, huh? You wanna?" She just likes to poke me a little bit.
Well, that's a good crush. That's also my celebrity crush. So, what is your favorite band or artist?
Ooh, currently, I have been really into Sturgill Simpson, who's a country Americana singer. Very different, very much like a lot of stuff you would do, a lot of stuff you'd listen to if you had mushrooms, probably. I growing up mostly in Atlanta, Outkast, the rap group, was very big to me. They're still probably my favorite rap group. I love Queens of the Stone Age and Led Zeppelin and anything that's like hard and crunchy and. But I want to be able to understand you. I can't listen to screaming shit.
That's eclectic though. Like you just touched on like 3 different genres.
I like to get, I like to go all over the place. But I would say rock, Queens of the Stone Age, rap, Outkast, country is Sturgill Simpson.
Do you have a secret vice, like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
I do that.
Perfect.
I don't know that it's a secret. I tell people that a nice Cabernet in the shower after a hard day.
That's why we get along. What wrestler has the best entrance music?
I don't know. You do, definitely. Who's got the best entrance music? I've always been a huge fan of Kurt Angle's music. Honestly, DX's music back in the day was
Classic.
the best thing ever.
Yep. I feel
That's
like
probably
people
it.
really don't like suck it isn't a thing anymore. Is it because millennials are like disturbed by it?
Yeah, because if you say suck it on Twitter, you're banned from life.
Really? I feel like
You
I
can't
use
say
that.
suck it to people anymore.
I feel like as a mother and who's 35 years old, I use that gif more than anything. That's probably why you don't get along with most people. I still think it's funny.
Middle school. I was in middle school in like 6th, 7th grade with
Yeah.
suck it shirts.
Yeah. It was a different time. Like you watch 90s movies back and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you could say those
You
things.
can watch movies from like 5 or 6 years ago and go, oh shit, how did they get this just came out?
That's true. What is your drink of choice? Doesn't have to be alcoholic.
I like Cabernets. I don't like whiskey, except I like cran apple apple whiskey with cranberry juice.
Oh, I've never tried that.
Washington apple, I believe was what it's called. And you know, on a regular basis, I'll go White Claws because I don't need the calories. But
You're just a typical white girl. You know that?
I am the basics of white girls. I'm gonna have me a pumpkin spice latte later.
What was your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
Man, am I allowed to say these kind of things?
Yep, because so I can preface it. We've had menstrual bleeding, peeing, balls, boobs, nipples. So please.
Okay. Well, yes, I've had probably on 2 or 3 occasions been like pulled by the trunks and possibly had my balls come out.
Balls came out.
Definitely balls came out.
Yep.
There was another time I was in a tag match and I had a real bad stomachache that day, and I was on the buckle for this tag match, and I farted really bad, and the teammate on the other team on the buckle, not in the match, yells across the ring, "Kaleb, did you just fucking fart?" And they knew it from 18 feet away.
I think I'm just going to change my podcast and ask people what their most embarrassing moment in the ring is, because it's a favorite part of my show. Because it is such a sport where, like, you know, you're meant to look like this, like, pristine, fit human being, but, like, you're also a human being. And we wear tiny clothes and we, like, do flips. Like, gonna see a ball, someone's gonna shit themselves. And I've yet to hear anyone shit themselves. Have you seen it?
I've been on shows. I've been on 2 shows with that happening.
Oh my God.
One of them was Sami Callihan and John Moxley.
Who shit? Which one shit?
Sami did.
Okay, Sammy's on the list.
I'll let him tell the story. But
Okay. All right.
Sami
Sammy's on the
definitely
list.
shit himself.
Oh, Sammy would shit his pants. He would.
It's probably not the first time he'd done it either.
I feel like that's just another Tuesday. Okay. Where am I at? Finish this lyric. Sorry, I'm not home right now. Walking in my...
It's fucking spider webs.
Yay! Yeah! Nailed it.
And that's for me because I mentioned Gwen Stefani a minute ago.
Yeah, I know. I choose it as I go.
Okay, cool.
You know what? I used to like choose an obscure lyric, and people always get nervous when I say finish this lyric. So I wait and I ask you what your favorite band is, and then when I find that
Okay.
out,
That
we're
makes
like,
sense.
yeah, because otherwise, then we just stare at each other uncomfortably, and then my funny bad singing is not met with more bad singing, and it's just me looking awkward. So. A normal day. Well, thank you for taking the time out to do my podcast.
Sure, anytime.
Cool. Can we do an interview with you and Chris?
It's not up to me. You gotta talk to her management people. But
God!
anytime.